Hey mamas, and welcome to the Entering Motherhood podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Marie Bilger, a wife, mom of two, VBAC mama, and doula. Join us every episode to learn from professionals, special guests, and moms just like you, ensuring that you know what you need to know and discover things that you didn't know before. I believe in you. Let's doula this, and let's navigate the transition of entering motherhood together. Hey mama, this is another episode of the Entering Motherhood podcast. This specifically is a doula talk episode, which if you don't know, we go live on Instagram every Tuesday around 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And by we, I mean me and Caitlin, who is the co-creator of our signature Own Your Birth childbirth education course. Please go look at that if you are looking for a childbirth education course. It's our signature Own Your Birth self-led online comprehensive course, and it is just packed with all the information that you will need to be able to feel informed and empowered as you navigate this stage of pregnancy and leading into birth and even the postpartum period. So we are so excited about that course, and we have been chatting and having these doula talks to provide you with more information to really own your birth and have information that maybe you didn't know or refresh your memory on things like that. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you ever have any topics that you feel like you would want to add or hear, if you have any questions, then please reach out to us and let us know so that we can include it in these episodes and in these conversations that we are having for you to really feel informed and empowered. So let's get this episode started. Hello, welcome to another week of our doula talk. We are going to have Caitlin join us, and we are going to be talking about announcing your pregnancy and what that might look like, and really the choices that you have in all of that. Looks like Caitlin is coming on now. There you are.
There we go. Okay. Hi.
Hello.
I was like, how's it going?
Good. Yeah. So we are talking about announcing your pregnancy and what that might look like. And if you guys haven't seen my most recent post, we just announced our pregnancy and that we are expecting. And so I can kind of talk a little bit about, personally, like when I have done that, Caitlin can talk on hers, and then we can just kind of chat about what it might look like, if you just found out that you're pregnant and what's kind of said and what we think about that. Looks like you might have froze. Hopefully you're still there with us. Oh, it looks like we lost you. We'll see if Caitlin comes back on. But yes, if you haven't seen, we recently just posted that we are expecting our third. So we're really, really excited about that. And, for me, it's one of those things that we never really picked a set time, or it kicked me off again. I will just join. We'll see if Caitlin can come back on. But yeah, for us specifically, with our first, we said very early on to family, we were only probably about 5 weeks along. We were very early when we had decided to tell our close family and friends that we were expecting with our first. And then for our second, we waited a little bit longer. It was after that 3-month period to even tell a lot of our family, because that was just where I think that's where we felt and wanted to be. And then this time around, we told some family, some friends, just kind of as we saw them in person here and there. And then we just announced it on Facebook and Instagram, just with our family and then with y'all. So I'm already past the first trimester in this pregnancy, and it wasn't anything that we wanted to wait because of chance of miscarriage or anything like that. We just like to kind of be in our little bubble of pregnancy, and I have been very tired, very exhausted, really just not wanting to talk about it or share that and get It's not letting me join. I will just join in chat, but oh, I think it's supposed to be so excited for you and your family. Yes, thank you. So Caitlin said that it's still not letting her join, so she'll just join in the chat, but she's so excited for me and my family with this new little one coming. So let's see, what was I saying? Yeah, we didn't really, you know, not announce it because of chance of miscarriage or anything like that. It was just kind of like we like to be in our own little bubble. And like I said, we told some of our family and some friends just as we saw them in person. We really like to tell people in person first, than it be, like a text message or they see it on Facebook or anything like that. So we really wanted a chance to travel up to Pennsylvania, tell a lot of our family, see them in person, and kind of let them all know before we made any sort of like official announcement, if you will. But yeah, I know a lot of times people will kind of say, like, oh, don't tell anybody until you pass that 12-week mark, or, you want to make sure that mm, you don't have a miscarriage or anything like that. And I know Caitlin can chime in on this as well. And I know it's one of the things that we've kind of talked about before. But for us, it's kind of like, hey, tell at least somebody, tell, like a close friend or family member or someone that you can trust. Hopefully, you're informing your partner. Of the pregnancy and things like that, so that if there is a miscarriage or something that's happening, you have somebody to confide in and you have somebody that can support you there. As far as, doula support and doula services and stuff like that, it's really one of those things. Like, I have already started locking in my birth team and figuring out what that looks like. Most of the time you're reaching out to a provider really early on, but nowadays they don't typically see you until at least like 8 weeks. Sometimes it's 10 weeks for that very first appointment, even. So you're kind of just sitting around from the time that you take that pregnancy test, which can be as early as 4 weeks. And then you're just sort of, in this limbo phase of, okay, like I took the test, it says that I'm pregnant, but now what? And where are we? And what does that look like until I go to my first appointment? Caitlin says the things to remember is there is no right or wrong way. It's what you are comfortable with. But I'm a huge advocate for telling someone because you need that support. So yeah, I agree. Like, there is no right or wrong way. If you just peed on the stick and yeah, my son is in here. So, if you have just peed on the stick and you are super excited and you want to share that all over. You want to tell all your family, you want to tell your friends, you want to tell the people down the street, you want to really just kind of like shout it from the rooftops. Go for it. If you want to, not tell anybody until the baby is here, then go for it. It's really one of those things where this is 100% your choice and there's no rule book or way of needing to have it done or needing to announce it or needing to do it a certain way. I know there's lots of different things as far as like social media, posting different pictures and having videos. And now there's, gender reveals and all of those things. And I think it's just one of those things to remember that, like, don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing or how everybody else is announcing or how anybody else is kind of going about their pregnancy, and just remember that this is your journey and your partner's journey, and it's really, what you want to make of it and how you want to have it. Obviously, if you want a provider present, it's really great to get them on board as early as possible. So if you have someone specific in mind, you figure out that they have availability. I know a lot of the midwives around here, people are filling up super, super quick. So that was one thing that I really wanted to jump on and make sure that I had a midwife that I had wanted and chose and that she was available. Same with doula support and things like that. I'm, like I said, like building up my birth team. And so you have to obviously tell those people that you are expecting if you want them to be part of the journey. So you're announcing it to them and making it known for them. But you can also, tell them to keep it secret. And hey, like, I'm not telling anybody yet, but, we're expecting and I want you to be part of my birth team. So Caitlin said, yes, this is your pregnancy and your experience. Don't let anyone pressure you to do things you aren't comfortable with. So yeah, exactly. It's really, what you want to make of it and how you want it to be, and remembering that it's a self journey. And I think we can get caught up in a lot of the hype or the expectations or what Google says. Yeah, even if it's just a gender reveal. Yeah, it's really just like one of those things where you really get to choose, and nobody, gets a say in that. I know sometimes there can be a lot of, uh, I don't wanna say, like, family pressure or things like that, but, like, let's say, like, you just decided to write something on Facebook, you just found out that you're pregnant, and now all of a sudden everybody's like, "What? Like, they didn't tell me, like, I didn't know." And it's like, "Okay, well, now you know." And it's nobody else's decision or choice than yours, and it's really what you make it. So, we just wanted to really, like, or some sort of yeah. We just really wanted to come on here and, like, let you know, if nobody has told you yet, that you get to choose when you announce your pregnancy and how you announce your pregnancy and what that looks like. I know for us specifically too, like me and my husband, we have always found out together. I go and I take the test and we wait together and we look at it together, and it's something that we find out at the same time. And that's been something that, like, we've been really adamant on and together on. We always kind of like find it surprising when people are like, surprising their husband with like a pregnancy test or something like that, and we kind of like joked about it a little bit. It's kind of one of those things that like we joked about before, like, okay, like, yeah, like, I'm gonna go and find out if I'm pregnant, and then I'll come and like surprise you and things like that. But for us, like, we always just wanted it to be like something together. And this time specifically, we got to share that moment with both of our kids. And so I took the test and we waited and we sat on the couch and we all looked at it together, which was a really, really cool experience because our daughter is 5, she'll be 6 in August, so she really kind of like understands and gets what's going on. And then our son is 3. And so he understands that there is a baby in mommy's belly, but he didn't really like understand and get like what the test was, but he was like, woohoo! Like, he was excited too. And so, because he saw his sister's excitement, he saw our excitement. And so he really got to like share in that. And now we have like a video of that to remember it and kind of like capture that. So I don't know, maybe it'll be something that I share on here or just in general. But it's usually, I'm just reading Caitlin's message. I usually take the test and then tell my husband. Yeah, see, so like everybody's kind of different. Like, if you want to go and take the test yourself and you don't want to, you know, have that moment together or anything, and then you want to like come out and tell them, then that's fine too. It was just something that, like, I wanted to share that excitement and be there immediately with my husband when we found out. And then, like I said, this time around, we did it with our kids. And so our son and our daughter were the first ones besides us to know. And so that was really exciting because we kind of said, like, okay, we have to keep it a surprise. And my daughter went and told her friends at school. Like, she has 2 little best friends in kindergarten, and she told them immediately. Like, I think it was 2 days later. And I was like, "You know what? I don't blame you. Like, I get it. Like, secrets are hard to keep and surprises are nice to tell our friends." And so we were fine with that. And then I eventually let her kind of tell her whole class because it was fine that they knew, and she just didn't want to keep it a surprise anymore. So she told her class, and her teacher was like, "Are you sure you want them to know?" But we were ready to kind of tell people, and we had already been telling some people in person, and we had told a lot of our family at that point anyway, so it was fine that they knew. But yeah, this is your permission slip to do as you please and announce how you want, and really just either take a moment to just enjoy it and embrace it yourself. And maybe if you want to record any little bits of it or, have a journal or write about it or talk about it and then be ready to share about it, you can do that or really just kind of go about it however you want. And like I said, if you don't want to tell anybody until the baby comes out, then that's your thing. And I think it's like also one of those things like I was starting to get a lot more visibly pregnant, even though I'm still like very early on, I'd say, like not enough to quite be showing. Third babies just pop differently. And we really have just been noticing a lot more changes in my body this time around than with my first and second. So yeah, sometimes it's one of those things like, is she? Like, it's, like, questionable, but, like, you don't wanna ask because if they didn't say anything, then, like, you shouldn't say anything because that's another thing too. Like, even if somebody looks like they are, you don't wanna ask unless it's, like, a really close friend. Oh, Caitlin said, "Definitely like your daughter, I want to tell everybody." So, yeah, I mean, like, sometimes people just, like I said, like, you can't hold in the excitement. Yeah, you can't hold in the excitement, and you wanna just tell everybody, and that's perfectly fine too. I always like to kinda stay in this little bubble and not really express it as soon as it as early. But now that the cat's out of the bag and the secret's there and we've kind of like announced it, I want to be sharing a lot more. So far, just in general, I've been exhausted, very, very tired. But, we have 2 young kids now and this pregnancy. So it's definitely a lot different. Going from 0 to 1 was a big change, 1 to 2 was a big change. And now we get to experience 2 to 3. So, I'm sure there's some of you out there who are going through this experience too and having, multiple children. And so it's one of those things where every stage we're entering a new transition and a new experience. And so now we are experiencing a family of 5. And so I'm excited to share that too and really bring that perspective as well into the mix. So hopefully, Caitlin, you can join us next week. And obviously, you've been adding your comments in and you can comment more on this post. We would love to hear from you when you announced your pregnancy, how you announced it, how you're planning to, or maybe you haven't. I know a lot of times I see in mom groups people posting anonymously and they'll say, like, hey, I'm posting anonymously because we haven't told anybody yet. And like I said, there's all these questions, there's all these things that are coming up in those first, 12 weeks, that first trimester that you're looking for. I do see it. It's one of those things where, there's a lot of stuff coming up and there's a lot of different new symptoms and things happening and changes happening. And maybe you've never been pregnant before. And so you have all of these like different symptoms and different things happening. So it's good to just tell somebody and open up to some people that you can kind of like have in your group and be there for you. So yeah, really just know that it's your choice and it's your call and it's just hopefully an exciting time for everybody and hopefully people can share your excitement or share your emotions and feelings and really kind of like express that with you. So, yeah, I think that's all we really wanted to talk about today and really just open up the conversation about pregnancy announcements and what that might look like and how you might go about it. So, do you have anything you want to add, Caitlin? She comments anything else. But yeah, really, really just knowing that it's your journey and something that you get to make the decisions on. And like I said, like obviously like, getting the correct support or finding a provider, that might be one of the first few people that you tell or call or contact, really reaching out to your birth team and things like that. We'll give her a little bit more time and see if she has anything else to add. Thank you to anybody that's joining us here and listening live. And if you're watching the replay, then thank you also. And we would love to just hear from you. Really keep this conversation going. If you have any other topics that you want to talk about here on our doula talk, please let us know. Like I said, I'll just be incorporating a lot more stuff now about this pregnancy specifically, things that are coming up, and as always, just new topics that we have coming along. So Kaylin says, just that this is your journey. Do it how you see fit. And then she said I think she's like excited. She just said, I'm so stinking for the new builder. Hopefully she's so excited for it. But she says, yes, excited. Haha. Okay. Well, yeah, thanks for joining us here for another doula talk. We're so excited. I have been getting a lot of these on the podcast. So remember, if you are not able to listen here live on Instagram or you miss it, or it's easier for you to listen to these through podcasts, we are like getting them all transitioned and over onto the Entering Motherhood podcast for you to listen to. So go check that out. All right. I'll see you later. Thank you, mamas, so much for listening. Remember, you are a rock star. I believe in you. Let's doula this. Let's crank it up a notch and let's kick it into high gear together. Hit that subscribe button, share this episode with a friend, message me, email me, call me, beat me. You know how to reach me. We're doing this, mamas. I am so excited to catch you here next week. This is your one-stop go-to place for helping you find the resources you need to make the best choices for you and your family during pregnancy, birth, and most importantly, postpartum. See you later, mamas.